What's up, everybody? This is Edward back with another video, another episode of Everybody Hates Black Man. I'm your host, Edward Anderson. Today, for the replay game, we are going to talk about, why the red pill wins again, why a lot of, blue pill or purple pill guys don't really know what they're talking about when it comes to these conversations. I was listening to a Chizza Zed video that I will be sharing. It momentarily. At the time of you watching this replay, you should see it in the posting in the community tab. Y'all should check out my community tab because I use it more than a lot of people do. And yeah, we're going to be talking about this kind of the bus driver conversation. If you make $500,000, would you date a $70,000 dollar bus driver? Why that's a dumbass state like question, and why it really exposes a lot of people don't know what they're talking about, or that they're out here clip farming. Also, the chick that was in this conversation was a chick that I've generally liked, but this is where she kind of stepped on the landmine, and she didn't really say anything bad necessarily, but she kind of exposed that even there's not a real. She should have gave a better answer than what she gave, and that's what we're talking about today. So shout out to Chizza Zed for this coverage. I need to kind of be better and just give y'all the clips and then just do it, with uploads. Because I do need to do more uploads. I really do. But we're going to jump right into it. So in this clip, basically describe what happened. This is, one of these, I think it's like table 8 conversations. So, at this point, this stuff is like a chitlin circuit. This is where, your favorite internet, personality gets to have these conversations. I'm just going to say it. These conversations usually are bullshit. Even like on Cam Newton, a lot of these people kind of expose themselves, and that's where they have value for us to break down. But for the most part, these conversations are bullshit. They're bullshit. I've said it before. They're puff pieces. They're basically just yapping. Most of them are not really saying anything really. So there's very little substance to these things, because a lot of this shit is aimed at women, and women are more about how you feel versus any actionable information, insight, or substance. They don't care about that. What they care about is how they feel about a conversation that's being had, which is why a lot of this shit over there, this is why they're in a feedback loop of bullshit, and they keep on repeating the same shit over and over and over again, like insanity, and then getting mad because they just basically blaming men because it's never them. Which, what women don't understand is you can blame men all day, every day. That doesn't change your actual outcomes. It really doesn't. You just keep doing the same dumbass shit, picking the same niggas, and having the same outcomes. I don't get it. But anyway, in this thing, the dude asked the woman, would you, and by the way, this light-skinned chick, according to her, all her brothers date white women, which should be a fucking clue in and of itself. Like when you got like 3 brothers and they're all dating white women, that should be like a fucking wake-up call. Like it really should. Because that doesn't happen by accident. Not all 3. That tells you something. It really does. But anyway, she was asked by one of the hosts, the dudes, would you date a guy that makes $70,000 if you made $500,000 a year? Would you date a guy that makes $70,000 a year? So I want to first jump on the dude. That's a dumbass question. And I kind of wish she would have said that's a dumbass question and then gave a good answer why that's a dumbass question. But I really do believe a lot of these people be talking about what they gonna ask before they ask it. But it is the bus driver question is a dumbass question. I'm gonna tell you why it's a dumbass. Even when Iyanla Vanzant asked Ebony K. Williams that question, and any dude that asks that question is a fucking idiot. Remember when I told you how black men don't know nothing about power? It's not about a lot. It is about the money, but it's more what the money represents. if you make, like, let me ask you this way, and this is how you would rebuttal that if these women were being genuine. What occupation, give me some occupations that can net somebody $500,000 a year. They would say a doctor. They would say a lawyer. Somebody in they gotta be upper management, meaning corporate level management. You're talking about like vice presidents, you're talking about upper level people. You're not talking about no fucking store manager. You're talking about somebody up there. What does all that have in common? That is a class designation, which is something BGS I acknowledge talks about all the time in ad nauseum. That is a class thing. There's no blue collar lawyers. There are no blue collar doctors. You get what I'm saying? It's a class thing. That is a class, like that amount of money is a class designation separator at that point, right? Electricians don't make $500,000 a year. No, the truck driver. There are no blue collar trades that net you that kind of money a year. Unless you like own, like you running a contractor, like you actually own you are a contractor in which you got people working for you, and that's a slightly separate thing. That's kind of a hybrid situation, but you get what I'm saying. Let's stop playing. Even the oil rig workers don't make that much. So the point is that in her mind, and I'm not saying this is a D chick to be genuine, in her mind, she's thinking class. So when you say 70, yeah, it's the money, but it's also that class part and how she's going to look. Now, for some reason, they don't know how to fucking articulate that as long as these conversations have been had, because women never bring up class. They never, even Ebony K. Williams didn't bring that shit up. Because black men, like, and this is something black men have a problem with, just like women. It's the same. Black men and black women, black people have a problem talking about class. Because it elicits feelings of inadequacy on the woman end and on the man end. Because that's when a lot of the shit that you've done, it's not like at the end of the day, even if like class doesn't necessarily account for what you've, done or haven't done. But if you're lacking in money and then you start talking about class, now people gonna really feel some type of way. This is one of the reasons why I've never agreed when Kevin Samuel says that like 64% of black men are in the middle class. I don't really like that statement because I personally think that misrepresents where black men really are. I think that misrepresents it. Because if you know what middle class is, working class can be kind of considered middle class too. And to me, that's a misrepresentation of where a lot of black men are. Saying 64% of black men are in the middle class, I think personally is bullshit. Saying 64% of black men have an apartment that they're paying for on their own, have their own car, and have a job completely on their own is bullshit. And if you don't have that, you're not capable of doing that, you ain't in the middle class. I don't give a fuck how you try to say it. And so that is something that black men really need to stop fucking saying. They really need to stop fucking saying that shit. Because I've always thought, I don't care what statistics y'all coming up with, that's like the closest thing that black men get to talk about all black women are educated. All black women, most black women, it's kind of a similar thing. I've never agreed with that. I just haven't said nothing about that. Because at the end of the day, to me, that's a misrepresentation of where black men are. I'm not saying black men are doing bad, but we not doing 64% of black men are in middle class. We would not have a lot of these problems if it was that many black men that was in the middle class as we understand what the middle class is. And I'm talking about before everything got expensive. So, yeah, I agree with that, Clutch. Class does separate a lot of adults from children. And the problem is, it really invokes, like, you can, black men don't. Black men do not like talking about class either. This is not just something that this is like a woman thing. The men are just as a problem with this. And so because men try to, because class is not just about money. And even I've had back and forth with BGS about that. So class is not just about money. And the thing about it is, I mean, we can deep dive that shit, but that's not really even what I want to do. My point is that in that comment, that's lacking. That is lacking in that conversation. When people talk about, you know, class, and they talk about, not even class, when they talk about like this 500,000 versus 700,000, like it's one thing you say like 150,000 versus 70, but if you're talking about like that level, you're talking about a different class. And we know women are hypergamous. We know this. So this really shows a lack of understanding when a lot of these dudes ask these fucking questions. And this is how you know, I'm highlighting that to show you. A lot of these purple pill niggas, and these purple pill niggas and these kind of purple / blue pill niggas, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They really don't. They really don't. What they do is they present a look. And then this is why I've always said that when people try to play this game about people wanting to validate themselves or qualify themselves, I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't have any merit, but the reality is a lot of that shit, a lot of them dudes that like, for instance, look, you know, Anton has all of the qualifications, but you're not going to fucking tell me that Anton has not been in the dating market like that. So no matter what, Anton has to go on what other people are saying, because at the end of the day, he's married and he's been married. Anton got married really before social media really kicked in like that. But people will listen to what Anton has to say because he has these qualifiers, because at the end of the fucking day, people don't want to be told shit. So what they do is they use them qualifiers as kind of like flak, like with airplanes and try to drop bombs, flak to mess up the engine. They'll use that as a way of trying to get around actually having a real conversation. They do that shit on purpose. And that's how you know. It's like, this is why you got to have a certain amount of not giving a fuck. When people out here talk about they're suffering and shit, it's like you're suffering because your suffering is because you don't want to live in reality. You just want to basically believe what the fuck you want to believe and think shit, the world is going to give you some different shit on some obvious shit. That's a choice you making. Just like when Kanye said slavery was a choice, even you can apply that to a lot of different shit. It really is. So anyway, just to focus my thoughts back, dude, as you know, which if a woman was making, he asked the woman, she was making 500,000. This is an attractive woman. Would you date a guy making 70? And she basically started doing typical shit they say. Talk about discipline and all this other shit. First of all, making that kind of money is not about discipline. Like, that's a dumbass statement too on her end. Because the reality of the situation is, like, you must think 500,000 is fucking, magical. This isn't working out where this isn't getting in shape. That's not how that works. $500,000 a year is like 40,000, around 40,000 and then we got to really break down what that actually looks like. Because at that point, you're talking about taxes. It depends how you're getting it. Because if you're getting it from entrepreneurship, you technically got a hell of a lot more of that money than if you're getting it through, like an occupation, like a doctor or a lawyer, because you're being taxed as somebody with a job. You are that's a way. W-2 500 is completely different, much less than 1099 or deductible 500. So we got to have that conversation, which is why these chicks always want entrepreneurs. Most of these chicks can't even articulate. Now, this chick might know how to articulate it because she got, but a lot of, she might, like, legit, but a lot of these women don't even articulate what that actually looks like. They just be, people be throwing numbers out there. And then on top of that, you got the class factor I just went over. Then on top of that, you know, the other factor, which is kind of what I want to have this video on, is, and this is where, is the casual sex versus relationship shit. Here's my thing. The reality of this, I'm gonna say this in a couple of different ways. Let's say you are a female and you qualify for it. You could get a dude that looks like this because you look good. Let's be very real about this. Outside of the entertainment industry or any adjacent industries, it's just fast money. If you're dealing with legit, like people with jobs that are actually getting this, that's a completely different ballgame. This is why Kevin didn't even really talk about that. He always took entertainers and sports people out of this conversation because that's not exactly the same thing. Because prestige, like reputation matters, but it doesn't matter over there like it matters in order to, if you're getting $500,000 a year corporate, there's a lot of things you got to jump through in order to be able to get that kind of money. That is not something that you just get. That is not something that fucking discipline gets. Like when she was saying, yeah, man, you know, if I had the discipline, it's like, what the fuck does that mean when it comes to making that kind of money? Discipline. What does that have to do with generating $500,000 a year? Like, what that is not, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And she was just like babbling. And it wasn't that there's not an answer to the question. It's just like they start saying this stupid shit. Most of these hoes are never sucking the dick of a nigga that makes like $40,000 a month. Let's just be real about that. Most of these chicks are not even having sex with niggas that make 100. Like, motherfuckers really think that niggas are like black men or white men are not just like, cause truth be told, as a black woman, you can kiss my ass. You are not fucking white boys that are making six figures like that. Not unless you come from a certain class and you grew up around that. You're not. You are not. Because white women are going to sew a lot of that shit up. White women do not let white boy, I don't care how retarded they are, they do not let white boys with that kind of money, because understand, to make that kind of money, you have to jump through certain social circles anyway. White women are not allowing white boys to be free roaming like that. Even when it comes to Latinas or Asians. Asians kind of know how to get in there, but they will circle the wagons around that. When they talk about, you know, he's loaded and he knows, like, what, white, ain't nobody better than white women when it comes to that. So I don't know why y'all be acting like y'all got access to all these men that make this. You don't. Most of y'all don't, unless you come from a certain class, unless you come from a certain background. You're not even around these guys. I don't even know why women are lying like it's like y'all even come in contact with dudes like that. You don't. And that's one thing that people need, like, y'all need to, women need to stop lying about that. You all, like, it ain't that many ballers, man. It's not. I don't know why people are out here, like, they'll be like, 100,000 ain't nothing. And 100,000 ain't 10,000. Yeah, but you're not coming across dudes like, y'all not. I don't know why y'all trying to act like y'all are. I don't know who y'all lying to. Mathematically, it's not that many black men, and quite frankly, it ain't that many white men. You know, white women ain't already sold up. And I grew up around motherfuckers that were capable of generating this type of shit. I've been in these houses. I've been in some of these $1 million, or they might as well be worth $1 million. Y'all kiss my ass acting like this is some normal. Y'all be trying to normalize shit because that's that manifestation bullshit. But anyway, going back to what I was talking about, the point is, if you come across a dude, white, black, or whatever, that's making $500,000 a month, and he's 5'10", he's 5'8", let alone 6 foot. But he's 5'10", because trust me, if he's making that kind of money in that woman's head, if he's 5'9" or 5'10", he's 6 foot in her head. I've seen that. When women like you, they start adding inches to you. I know how tall I am. And when a chick start telling me, oh, I'm not this, I'm not that, laughing, I already know. I already know. Because they're doing that, and that's a game they play in their own head. Like, I've seen it. But my point is, if a dude has a certain look that a woman likes, that women like, and he's making that kind of money, I don't give a fuck who you think you are. I don't care if you're rich. You are a fucking fool to think that you gonna be the only one. The question is not, is he gonna have other chicks? The question really, and it's not even about he's that type of dude. The women will not allow him to not have other chicks. The question is not, is he's gonna have other chicks. The question really is he gonna embarrass you? That's the only difference. Is he gonna keep that crap under control, or is he gonna embarrass you? And truth be told, is he gonna? That's the only question. That's the only question. And in today's market, that's the only question. That's the only question. Like, you're a fool, and this is a very beautiful woman, but I'm like, you're a fucking fool. You're a fucking fool if you actually believe that you're gonna be the only one. I don't care. I don't care. Well, then white women, no, they're not the only one. No, these white women are not the only one, and they understand that. That's the difference between them and black women and a lot of other groups. They understand that. Cardi B can jump, even like Cardi B was anyway. I ain't gonna get on Cardi B. My point is, you are a fucking fool to believe that. Like, seriously. And somebody needs to say that to somebody's face. You are a fucking fool to believe that. You are. You just are. It's one thing to kind of think, well, Kai Cenat might do that, because Kai Cenat is not a nigga that you don't think he get bitches outside of him being a streamer. And that ain't no hate. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. So you might believe, I can see somebody, but if you dealing with niggas that they got money and they can get hoes without it, you a fucking fool to believe that you gonna be the only one. I don't even know why that's even a conversation. That's a little girl conversation. It really is. It really is. I just don't get that. When women understand more than men do how much women will jump on other like other chicks do. I don't understand that. You got bitches like Megan Thee Stallion just jumping from dude to dude. I don't understand that. Why are we capping like that? And so going back to her saying she makes here's the reason why I'm circling back around it. So when she says I make 500,000, that don't mean shit. Your 500,000 doesn't really mean shit to a dude that's at that level, because he ain't using the money. Like, my thing that I would love for he should have asked her is, cool, how does a man, like, really practically tell me, how does a man benefit from a woman that makes $500,000? Can somebody practically tell me how a man benefits from a woman making $500,000? Because these women act like that their money is their money and your money is our money. Now, we know the reality is that is not how that works in a practical sense. We know that's cap. We know that's cap. That's not how that works in a practical sense. But they love to act like that's how it works. So when we have these conversations about 500,000, like, first of all, how many bitches are making 500,000? Like, for real. How many females are making that kind of money? Well, a lawyer can make that kind of money. And that's why, like, because it's like, at what point are black women gonna actually solve that fucking problem? We don't got a man on our level. Okay, this is not a social issue. This is not a political issue, where you can't politically solve you not having a whole bunch of men at your level. That's not how that works. Where you can get on here and you think it's like colorism or something, then you can fix that issue. When you get to that, if you want a nigga that makes, it doesn't matter how much money you make. It really doesn't. I don't know why women believe that. It doesn't. If you're trying to deal with a dude at a certain level when it comes to money, you have to show up a certain type of way. Your money does not buy you out of that. Because the only time it does is if you're getting a dude that's not making that kind of money, which should have been the fucking point of you making that money. The point of you making that money is so you can get a dude and that not be the main thing. I'm not saying the dude has to make 70, but the reality is if you sit here and say, I can't deal with a dude that makes $100,000 and I make 500 because you know what, he ain't on my level, then you're a fucking fool. Especially if that dude fits a lot of other stuff that you want, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot. Because the reality is at 500,000, if you do not look like a female that a dude making $500,000 a year will want, bitch, it don't matter if you worth $3 million. It don't. And if the dude, at the end of the day, you gonna be dealing with a dude that's making less money than you. You just are. I don't understand what you don't get. And here's the thing, even if you are dealing with a man that makes more money than you, if that money is higher up on the sexual marketplace value on his end than you are, meaning if he can get more bitches than you can get dudes, which you know is not common, guess what? He's really running that shit. Your money doesn't mean anything. Because at the end of the day, he's still $100,000 nigga. I don't understand what women don't understand. Like, I've never understood women getting on here. Like Ebony K. Williams. Ebony dated all of them and had to deal with the same shit. Because at the end of the day, bitch, your money doesn't matter. And the only reason Ebony was able to do what she was able to do is because she's fairly attractive. And she has that kind of look that she can fit into a white area and be that token in a Fox News. That's it. It ain't got nothing to do with your money. It ain't got nothing. Your lawyer, her being a lawyer only put her in proximity. That's the only reason why that really matters. But when you look for what men look for in a mate, a mother of your children, all that other bullshit really don't matter. And you can't even say it's a bonus because the cost of it is if you're a lawyer, how much time are you going to dedicate being a lawyer as opposed to actually raising our children? So then it becomes more of an opportunity cost than a bonus. And the fact that we're dealing with feminism and a lot of these women actually don't believe that their money, like on paper, they don't set the precedent that their money is going to contribute to the household. Did they actually believe that a man is just supposed to take care of everything? Anybody, if you make over 80,000, 75, really over 50, but if you make over $100,000, I'm gonna keep it simple. If you make over $100,000 and you think that a man is just supposed to pay for everything, bitch, you're stupid. Even if a man pays for everything, your fucking money needs to go up for the kids' college. If you're a female and you're not no rainy day fund, not no in case, your money needs to go into a trust, meaning you can't fuck with it. It goes to the kids. A good amount of your money, not no fucking, so if we do get divorced, at least you gonna have to pay a certain amount for those kids too. Not no, oh, my money is my money. No, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Well, you broke, and it doesn't matter because the dudes at that level are not playing with you with that. They're not. I don't know, even these white boys be making these white women contribute. 70% of white women work. What the fuck are you talking about? And a lot of these conversations, these are people that are supposed to be educated now. These are people that are supposed to be college educated. Now, and think about it. These are women that actually act like they're feminists. Like, if you don't believe in 50-50, you're not, or 60-40 or 70-30, you're not a feminist. You're not. A lot of they don't believe in their own shit. That's the issue I really have with that shit. They don't believe in their own bullshit. They want to pick and choose what's in it to their advantage, which is why I say they believe in supremacy. That is what that is. That is not feminism. Even in how they wrote it, they believe in supremacy. Why? Do you believe in equality? Yes. Do you believe in 50-50? No. Bitch, you don't believe in equality then. Shut the fuck up. Do you supposed to, if your man says something that, for the most part, that should be the final word on it. How many times out of 10, if a man says something and you should not have veto power, or you can pull an audible? Out of 10 times, how many situations? If these chicks will struggle to say one. The smart thing would say at least half. These bitches will struggle to say one. Well, why should he have that? Okay then, bitch. Do you believe a man should pay for everything as a man? Yeah. So why the fuck should he not? So what do you think? So I got a question. What do you think he's paying for everything for? If he's paying for everything, bitch, you don't have veto power. I don't even like to call it veto power. You don't have the ability. There are no audibles. If he's paying 70% of everything, you don't have no audible power. If you're not working, but that's control. You call it what the fuck you want to call it. You can call it what the fuck you want to call it. Call it control, bitch. You can call it what you want to call it, but what you're not about to call is any of these fucking plays. You are not Peyton Manning, bitch. You are not a star quarterback, bitch. You are not a star quarterback. You may be a first stringer, but you are not franchise tagged. You better stop fucking playing with me. If I'm paying even 70% of everything, I'm paying for you to shut the fuck up when I say something. That's what I'm paying for. I'm paying for when I put a period on something, you don't have an eraser, bitch, or a pen. That's what I'm paying for. I'm paying 50-50. I'm paying 100. I'm paying 80% or 70%, 80%, 70% to call the shots. That's what I'm paying for. You are not Michael Jordan. You are Scottie Pippen. You are not Kobe Bryant. You are Rick Fox. I'm Phil Jackson, meaning, bitch, you won't play. Like, that's what you're paying for. And when women say, well, no, you don't know that word, controlling, and all the synonyms. That with the snap of my finger, those rules are not in that dictionary. Those rules don't exist. Control, controlling, all that don't know. The Book of Edward, if I'm paying that kind of money, that don't exist. That don't even exist. That don't even exist. Oh, those words don't even exist. You don't even know what the fuck you don't even know what that means. You just do. That's what niggas are paying for. Niggas are too bitch made to say that. That's not simping or tricking. And even the dude that's tricking and treating simping a trick is a trick actually expects an outcome. A trick actually expects an outcome. A trick is on some buy here, pay here. So tricks may overpay, but they're paying for intended outcome. Simps just give you money because you're you. That's the difference. That's the difference. That's the difference. And too many dudes are too bitch made to say that. Bitch, I don't want to hear about control. You just want control. So, bitch, then we're doing 50-50. No, I don't want control. I believe in equality of women. That's why I believe in 50-50. Somebody need to get on that bitch and start telling them bitches that. Oh, you broke. No, I could pay it, but I don't believe in controlling women. I don't want to take your control away from you. I don't want to take your agency for you. That's why you need to work and make your own money. Because I believe in you having your agency. Because I believe in women empowerment. There is no women, and I can tell you as a man, there is no empowerment without being able to work and make your own money. So go do you. Go be great. Stop playing with me, man. And dudes be like, no, man, I don't want control. It ain't about control. It's not even about control. It's really about cohesion. Then they do project. They be wanting control. It's really about us being synchronized. It's not about, oh yeah, I want to control you. Because real talk, if you really are like that dude and you can do it, like, bitch, you can do what you want. I'm just not going to say that in a rap song. You can do what the fuck you want. I'm just not going for it. You can do what you want. You just not getting the shit that comes along with being with me. That's why you got your own money, right? But see, you don't want to spend it on nobody. You get to control a motherfucker too. You just got to pay. You just got to pay. But what you want to do is you want to be young, wild, and free while somebody subsidizes that. Bitch, get the fuck out of my face with that bullshit. Even the niggas that are broke, if they know how to lay down 5-star pipe, you ain't got control over them either. Because there's plenty of women that will pay them for that. That's the thing y'all don't be understanding. It's plenty of men that will pay, women that will pay these men, like they call them YNs. Plenty of white women too. I talked to a young dude that said he was getting tired of white women. Like what are we talking about? Like, this stuff is common sense. This is not complicated. This is not like, it's like, some of this stuff is like the law, cause, and effect in game theory. You really out here, I don't know why y'all egos get control of this shit, where y'all just be like, oh, well, I'm like, bitch, even y'all that look good, the dudes that y'all want, all the bitches want. You can do what you want. This stuff. Yeah, sorry about that, y'all. I'm gonna end this stream, but be looking out for some stuff in the future. I just, yeah.